how wildly the mermaid is splashing and splattering around in one place, I'm pretty sure she's still alive. The spear seemed to go through her hip, out the other side. It got stuck between a pair of rocks. No wonder she can't swim away. The mermaid doesn't look like a lady. I can't believe TRABH has the time to analyze the gender of the poor mermaid. Wait, that's not a mermaid. A merman. Ah, snap out of it. I have to save him before he dies. Wait, I need to get him out of the water first. Mer people can smell the blood of their kind when it's carried through the water. I don't want his entire species to show up here when I'm supposed to make a peace treaty with them. Damn it, what should I do? So I can swim or pull him to shore. Oh, really? With a second thought, I ran and jumped in the river, quickly making my way to where the injured merman is. Fortunately, the current isn't that strong, so I paddled my way to him without any major problems. It's quite hard to stay static in a rushing current, so I was forced to keep paddling against the flow of the water once I reached him. He doesn't notice I'm near, since he's too focused on his wound. How should I attract his attention? Holler to him. Hey, are you alright? Oh, I swallowed a lot of water just by opening my mouth. Hearing my call, the merman turned to look at me, and as soon as he laid eyes on me, a throatless, echoey snarl escaped his fanged, scaly lips. It's an obvious sign that he's not happy to see me, but I can't help feeling fascinated by the sound it makes. It's almost watery. Phil, your cloak! TRABH's sudden yell shook me out of my thoughts. His warning traveled faster in my head, by the urgency in his voice that my arms quickly reached out automatically. Turns out my unlaced cloak slipped off from me by the water current and was almost carried downstream, but I managed to grab hold of it with an ungraceful plunge backwards before it drifted. My graceless underwater flip accidentally made me kick the merman. A sharp scaly hand that I know belongs to the merman grabbed my foot and pulled me towards him roughly. The ore-sealing cloak in my grip fluttered by the underwater stream and got caught behind me. I got caught being wrapped around my head, effectively blinding and choking me. I can feel a strong squeeze from around my neck. I don't think my cloak is choking me. I'm starting to think this merman is trying to strangle me to death. I'm being pinned down underwater, lacking air to breathe, and unable to see. Of course I'm panicking. My arms are wildly flailing, grabbing onto something as I scratched my oppressor, desperate to escape. As I was wildly struggling, water is beginning to fill my lungs. I can feel my limbs weakening, my energy depleting. I'm blacking out. No, not now. Death is not an option, especially now. Wait, I suddenly remember the spell that lay on top of me. Suddenly, the pressure around my neck dissipates. The second I feel the weight on top of me is gone, I swam up and pulled the cloak away from my face. Taking a desperate breath of air, I coughed out the water. A lot of water as I tried to stabilize my breathing. The spell works. The force spell works. Never in my dreams would I so greatly need such a spell that manipulates the difference of energy between two heat sources into a small explosion, just enough to push one off the other. Once my vision cleared, I could see the merman in front of me, with a very different look on his face. I'm not sure how I can describe this, but he looks almost in awe. That vicious-looking expression had completely disappeared. Fell! I turned to look towards the shore and saw TRABH brandishing a new spear he made. Don't! Suddenly, a scaly hand reached the side of my face to turn my head, so I'd look at the mermaid instead of the shore. I didn't notice this before, but the merman's actually holding me in place against the current by clutching on my dress. Then he opened his mouth and alien words flowed out of his tongue. It's a language I've never heard before, a strange combination of smooth vowels and airy syllables. It's almost entrancing. Entrancing, yes, but also impossible to understand what the shoal he's trying to tell me. I tried my best to do hand gestures to show my confusion, but it's rather difficult with gripping my cloak and being mostly underwater like this. Suddenly, the merman moved closer to me, his hand reaching the back of my neck within moments. He's pulling me closer to him. What is he doing? I'm sorry, you reached the end of the beta. It's almost a kissing. Yeah, I want to say the kissing. Alright, since I have time, I'm gonna go back to this one. I think it's this one. Does it touch him? Perhaps patting him on the shoulder is fine. I would accidentally swallow a lot of water if I speak to him in this current. I reached out my hand, tapped his shoulder, desperate. Despite the half-a-second touch, I can feel how his body is ice cold and his skin is slimy and scaly. My fascination was short-lived though, because the merman immediately roared when he was touched and clawed at me as a reflex. salt ended up ripping my aura sealing cloak. Turns out my unlaced cloak slipped off of me by the water current and was almost carried downstream, but I managed to grab hold of it with an ungraceful plunge backward before it dropped. This looks the same. This is the same. Okay. So since that looks the same, I'm gonna go back here. This is what I wanted to do. TRABH is stronger. Ask him, TRABH, you gotta get him out of the water now. Fishes belong in the water. What do you need me to toss him out on land for? His blood can attract other mer people, and it would kill us. God damn. I have to go in the water? I would have noticed his reluctance if I wasn't so worried of a dead merman carcass we have to deal with if he didn't hurry. TRABH, please. The dragon took one look at me and heaved off the ground, then placed down the statue he's always holding on the ground beside me. Watch this for me. Make sure to never lose it. Got it? Sudden coldness in his voice shocked me, to say the least. I nodded in response to him, and that's all TRABH needed to see before he quickly dove in the river. Wait. Could it be that? I stood on my toes, scanning the river for any sign of TRABH. After a long moment, I could finally see his head popping out of the water, taking greedy air for breath. Wait a second. TRABH can't swim? He's flailing in the water, but somehow managed to get himself near the merman after much difficulty going against the current. As I watched TRABH trying his absolute best to maneuver around the merman, to get himself somewhere stable that he can actually hold on to, his target being the two rocks his spear was stuck to, I realized I'd been holding my breath. That's right, TRABH was a dragon. He belongs in the skies. But then I practically forced him into an environment that he probably has no experience in dealing with. The water. Oh no. Just as a wave of guilt began to wash over me, I noticed TRABH grabbing hold of the two rocks and took a moment to breathe. The merman, by now sensing that there's a human near him, lets out a vicious yet painful sounding snarl at TRABH. He tried to claw at the dragon, but TRABH is having none of that and simply slapped his slimy hand off him. Even from here, I can practically feel how bad TRABH's mood is right now. Fell, I'm going to toss him to you. Make some space, I might miss. With that warning said, I quickly stepped back, but then I remembered TRABH's dragon statue he left for me to look after, so I grabbed hold of it with my flimsy arms and tried my best to drag it back with me. Ugh, this thing is as heavy as land. TRABH, on the other hand, is stabilizing himself in the two rocks, one hand around his spear, while the other is ready to scoop the merman. Fell! Ready! With that, TRABH easily pulled the spear off the merman's body, in an instant scooping the merman up with his other arm. Quickly used his other arm to balance the merman's full weight. With a loud yell, TRABH threw the merman over towards me, and promptly fell back in the river due to using too much force. The merman is flying straight towards me. He's going to crash right on top of me. My muscles are tensing to move with my command. Jumping sideways is always the best option. I put all my weight on my right leg before leaping sideways forcefully just in time as a large lump of half-fish hit the ground with a horrible thwack where I once stood. I winced. That must have hurt. Good thing I wasn't standing there, I would have broken something. Blinking at the motionless body near me, my stomach is starting to twist and turn. I swallowed my spit anxiously. There's an unconscious merman on the ground directly 5 feet away from me. He doesn't seem to be moving a limb, possibly unconscious, while with being thrown in the air, creating that majestic giant arc like that before slamming into the ground face first. Yeah, I don't think he'll be okay when he wakes up. If he wakes up. Cautiously, I approached him and circled around a bit to find where his face is. His fin is so huge, and it's bleeding. Crap. His blood doesn't have the same viscous property like we do. Ours does. It practically flows out of his body like water. Ugh, I need to close this wound fast. Quickly getting to my knees, I try to inspect how I'm supposed to close a type of flesh that I'm not familiar with. Do merfolk even regenerate like humans? I have no idea what I'm supposed to do. Should I just continue with the only healing spell that I know of, or just let him bleed to his death